As we have seen in our previous module, the importance of the inoculum and the level of the inoculum and the morphological form of the inoculum and even the amount of the inoculum that is required for industrial fermentation. But in this module, we will talk about the inoculant development procedure. So as concerned the master culture, that is reconstituted and plated on a solid medium. So the first step, that if we have a stock culture, which we called as the master cultures, stored or preserved, and then first of all, the first step is the revival of that culture. So for the revival of that culture, just plated on a solid medium. Approximately 10 colonies of the typical morphology of the high producers are selected and inoculated on the slope as the submaster cultures. So from that plate to the slant. So slant to then flask. So at this stage, the shake flask may be inoculated to check the productivity of these cultures. The result of such test being known before the developing inoculum eventually reaches the production plant. So a submaster culture is used to inoculate the shake flask, 250 to 500 ml flask that contain about 50 to 100 ml medium. So if we are using, that's mostly, as I have already told you in a previous modules, that if we are dealing with the non-filamentous unicellular organisms, we can use 1/5 of the total flask volume. So if we are dealing with the filamentous, we have to use 1/10 of the total volume. So for example, if the flask is 250 ml and we want to culture and we want to develop the bacteria, so we add 50 ml of that. So if we are dealing with the filamentous, we just add 25 ml of the medium. So that is used as an inoculum for the larger flask and the laboratory fermenter, which may be then used to inoculate the pilot plant scale. So from the laboratory scale, then to pilot, and then to industry. So these are the different stages. On each stage, we have to check the contamination level of that, just to check the culture purity. So the culture purity checks are carried out at each stage to detect the contamination as early as possible, because although the result of these tests may not be available before the culture has reached the production plant, so at least it is known at which stage in the procedure that contamination occurred. So for a sporulating agent, the process may be modified to facilitate the use of spore suspension as an inoculum. So as I have noted, there are two types of inoculum, spore inoculum and vegetative inoculum. Lincoln in 1960 suggested that more elaborate procedure for the development of inoculum for bacterial fermentation, which with minor modification is applicable to any type of the culture. So according to that procedure involved the use of one submaster culture to develop a bulk inoculum, which was subdivided, number one, stored in a frozen stock and used an inocula for several months. A single colony derived from a submaster culture was inoculated into the liquid medium and grown to maximum log phase. So this culture was then transferred to 19 times its volume of the medium and incubated again to the maximum log phase, at which point it was dispensed in 20 ml volume, plugged, frozen and stored at below minus 20 degrees Celsius. So at least 3% of the sample were tested for purity and the productivity in subsequent fermentation, and then provided these were suitable, the remaining sample could be used as initial inoculum for subsequent fermentations. So to use one of the stored sample as the inoculum, it was thawed and used as 5% inoculum for which the seed culture, which in turn was used as 5% inoculum for the next stage in the program. So this is the method that is reported by the Lincoln that can be, as I have already discussed, that can be utilized in many of the fermentation with minor adjustment.